Hey everyone, this is Gamingwithclass. This past weekend, I played a lot, and I mean a lot of Street Fighter 6. I somehow got into the beta. I don't know how, but I got in. I remember even for Street Fighter 5, I somehow got into that beta as well. So I have some kind of luck when it comes to Street Fighter stuff. But I played the beta. I have a lot of things to say about it because it took up my whole weekend. It took all my scheduling just out the woodwork. But I knew this was gonna happen because I was very, very excited for this game. The first trailer got me hyped, and just everything they've been showing has looked so promising. This really seems like the best direction that the Street Fighter series can go in after 5. Because 5 for me was a game that took a long time to get to like a good part. Because the launch was barren, barely any characters, barely any modes, it had a lot of issues. And it's kind of crazy to say that Street Fighter 6's beta that I just played has more features in this small beta than Street Fighter 5 did at launch, which is really insane and sounds kind of unbelievable, but it really is the truth. So, getting into this thing, I was excited, I was hyped. Uh-oh. Here we go, baby. This has been my most anticipated game for a hot minute. I've been wanting to get my hands on just playing the game for a bit. So yeah, it's here. All I will say is these streets about to get cleaned up when I start getting these Ryu combos going. All right, choose a player name. Okay. Please, is this one allowed? I can't be Gamingwithclass. I have to do so stupid. I mean, I can do the whole thing. It wouldn't be bad, and I can have the full name. Then they'd be like, oh, that's too many characters, buddy. All right, cool. Oh, I didn't even do a spelling check. Good thing I got it right. Can you imagine if I spelled it wrong? It's like, well, there we go. I'm gaming with ass for like the next 8 years. And with one aspect that I was actually pretty interested to see was the character creator. When I woke up in the morning, I checked Twitter before I got into it, and I had started seeing all of the horrifying abominations that people were making. And I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. And hey, this character creator is really good. You can make a pretty normal person, but if you want to make a total freak, boy, do they give you options. You have a lot of options when it comes to making a horrifying mess. Oh yeah, I gotta make my dude first. Okay. Damn, look at this. This dude has no head. Big ass frame. Small little head. Look like that little peanut thing from Men in Black. That's not me. That's me. That's how I look with my shirt off. You can make horrifying monsters in this. Can I get this head bigger? Like normal size head? I got a big ass head, but I'm not gonna go full on. No neck. Okay, already, this character creator is really good. You can make David Schwimmer in this right now. No reach McGillicuddy. Excuse me, ma'am, can you reach those Cheerios for me? Give him like, what, Lanky Kong arms? Actually, it's kind of disgusting. Looks like his arms got broken and he just never got the work done on him. It's nasty. And just walking around like the battle hub, I saw so many things. I'm just like, what is that? Just like you're just sitting down at the cabinet. You finish your match. It's like, all right, cool, GG. And you see what you're fighting. It's just like, ugh. So I already know when the full game hits, boy, no one's going to be looking normal. Like, I almost felt weird in my lobbies because I'm just dressed here, just playing. And I'm standing next to a guy who has like giraffe neck, Mr. Fantastic arms. Like I felt so out of place being a normal guy. And speaking on the battle hub, this thing was great. Like the way they utilized it was really cool. Just having this centralized hub where you can go around and you can do online matches, you can see matches. If you just want to like sit around and play people in the lobby, you can. Throughout the gameplay, I'm just like, man, this really reminds me of PlayStation Home. Like, it was giving me so many flashbacks. Like, man, this really reminds me of something. I was like, PlayStation Home, that's exactly what it is. And I mean that in the best way possible, because I did like PlayStation Home. It was jank, it was weird at times, but I kind of had a soft spot for it. And this Battle Hub is doing a lot of really cool things. It almost, in a way, to me, it kind of simulates that feeling of when you would go to an arcade back in the day, where you walk in, you have like the hustle and bustle, people are playing different games, especially when you go to the fighting game section, and you see people huddled around a machine, you see someone who's really good, and it's like, well, I want to get in on there, or at least see what they're doing. And this kind of replicates that feeling of just walking into a cabinet, someone comes on, you can stay on, they can hop off, someone else can come in. Like, it was really cool. And there's so many small details in that Battle Hub too, because outside of even just the regular matches, you have the extreme mode where you have like the more extreme game type, which I didn't play too much of that, but that stuff was cool. You have the Game Center section where you can play older Capcom titles. Like, the 3 games in the beta were Final Fight, Magic Sword, and Super Turbo, which, great. Like, being able to just say, hey, you know, I want to take a break from getting whooped online. Let me go get whooped by really good AI in Street Fighter 2. But that stuff was really nice. And it was a really cool thing that they kind of bake into there. So, like, on some of the big screens and, like, in the intercom of the area, it would say, oh, this player's on a winning streak. And it'll be like, oh, it'll show the player, it'll show their avatar. Oh, they're in this server, so they're on like a really good streak right now. Maybe go over to the server right now. Let me see if I can take them on. Or let me go see what the hustle and bustle is going on in server 7 or server 5. Like, it was so well done. And I'm sure, like, once everything is like fully done and like once the game's out, they're probably gonna really expand that area and over time add more stuff to it. Like, I'm curious to see what the full lineup of that Game Center section is gonna be, and so on. Now, going on to characters in the beta, I played most of the characters. I didn't get deep into all of them. I stuck with like my main few. Ryu, I played for a good bit. Ken, I probably played the most. He was the one I was most consistent with. I played a little bit of Jamie. Really fun character. Luke as well, which I will say this about Luke. I wasn't the biggest fan of Luke in Street Fighter V, but in number 6, they have redeemed Luke. This character is great. I have no issues with him whatsoever, and he's really fun to play. Kimberly, also really cool character, really fun. I didn't get deep into her, but probably in the final game, she might be one of the ones. Same for Jamie too. All the new fighters like felt pretty good. I just didn't want to like spend too much time because, oh no, I will say this. I was getting smoked. My first match in the game, I was excited. I was like, all right, cool. I'm in the game now. Let's go. And I got smoked. I got smoked bad. Oh, here we go. We in the match now. Anime is real 69. Oh boy. I'm either gonna win this match or I'm gonna lose horribly with that name. I can't lose to anime. Not on my watch. Oh man. Oh my. I'm dipping after that. Oh boy, I'm not staying. Oh, that was embarrassing. That was really embarrassing. Which, that's the one thing I'll say with this. I was getting destroyed left and right. And that's the one thing I will say about the beta. I loved it, but boy, I was getting smoked. I was getting destroyed. There were a lot of great players playing it. I'd walk around like the lobbies and I'd see some names. I'm like, that name's very familiar. Let me stay far away from that person. The worst one for me, I was just doing casual matches. I had stopped playing Ryu for a bit. So you know what? Let me switch over to Luke. I want to give him a try. I went into training mode, practiced some combos. I got a feel for him, some setups. It's like, all right, cool. Let me go do a casual match. Just casual, no ifs, ands for it. First match in, I see I'm going up against the Ryu, and I see the name of the Ryu player. And I'm like, man, this name sounds really familiar. It's like, it's hitting a part of my brain. This name is like, it just kept hitting me. And then halfway through the match, I'm like, wait a second. Is that Jeff Gersman's name? And just like that, the second the match ended, I did a rematch. I went to Twitch, and it's like, up there I go. That's me on Jeff Gersman's stream getting whooped by, like, in front of 800 people. And the comments are like, man, what's this guy doing? He needs to learn how to block. boy, he just got sweeped. And it's like, boy, my first match with Luke didn't know anything whatsoever. Got smoked. It's like, that's it. I ain't ever picking another like new character right now and going casual mode. And I didn't. I stuck to just Ken and Ryu for casual.
Gets the knockdown, and now? What are your thoughts on what happened during that last round?
I shouldn't. I feel dirty when I do stuff like that.
But despite getting destroyed, it was still a lot of fun. Like, I had a lot of fun during this beta. And as of course, when I got to the end of it, I started getting a feel for the controls. And one of the new additions they did add to the game, which I did try for a little bit just to get a feel for it, and they default you with it, which is what really got me killed in my first match, is they have classic controls, which is Street Fighter as you've known it since the beginning of time. And they have modern controls, which is more for like a beginner who's never played Street Fighter, isn't really too particular in fighting games. And it's more of a easier way for you to do combos and setups. So rather than doing the command for Hadouken, you would just hit triangle and it will do it for you. Or rather than doing the command for Shoryuken, it will just hit left and triangle and it does it for you automatically. And if you like hold R2 and you like just tap like light punch, you'll do like a 3-hit combo automatically, and some of the other ones will set up into supers and specials. So I was noticing a bit, like when I was doing my ranked modes, because you can see who's playing classic and who's playing modern. I was noticing, I was like, well, I'm getting comboed. This modern stuff, these people are hitting me with these combos. But like, I'm sure for those people who are new to fighting games, that probably is a really good thing in terms of getting a feel for it. The question will be how it's going to play out with other character types, because we've seen it like with like the Shotos and certain of like the charged characters now, but like, what about when those grapplers get in the game? How's this going to work? But only time will tell on it. I'm still sticking with classic. That's my bread and butter. I feel at home with that, but I'm sure someone out there is going to stick to modern. I just wish the game didn't default, because boy, I kind of hated every time I picked a new character and it was defaulted as modern. It's like, nah, give me that classic. And something that could possibly be a classic or a devastation, depending on who you're talking to. Drive Impact. This is the big new thing with Street Fighter 6. It's a brand new gameplay thing. So each character in the game has Drive Impact. It's like a specialized focus attack that they can do at any time. And it also has a parry with it too. So every character in the game now has a parry. And Drive Impact, it took me a bit before I got used to it. And then once I got a hang of it, I was like, all right, cool, I do like this thing. Until I got to the last day. Because this is when I realized, okay, Drive Impact, really good. It really changes the flow of battle, being, all right, do I want to conserve this? Do I want to hold on to it? And especially with burnout being a thing you can get too, it's like you really have to be smart about how you use it and like when knowing to block, when to parry, and so on. But boy, I think in the final game, they need to set like way more of a usage in terms of using the main Drive Impact, because it can get spammed really hard and it can end some matches easily. Like if you're in a wall and you get hit with a Drive Impact, boy, you better get out, because you might be done in. If a good player hits you and they know what they're doing, it's done. Because they can Drive Impact, hit you a combo, go right into a super, you're done. So that's the one thing. I do like it. Like the Drive Impact stuff itself is really fascinating, especially when you see it in a high level play. Because it really gets to a technical degree and how it's used and like when it's held back and all this. But there's just certain things that probably need to be like fine-tuned with it. Just mostly the use, because like it gets abused online. The one good thing is the players who did abuse it too much, it became such an easy tell that you could really figure out when they're going to do it. But most of the time, it was like, dang, they were really smart in using it. They spammed it a whole bunch, but they were smart about it. So, I don't know. I have no issues with it whatsoever. It's just certain things need to be tightened up with it. Like, I'm not like DSP, who I unfortunately ran into the game. Like a Sasquatch sighting, talking about this ruins the game. I want it to be like old Street Fighters. It's like, boy, be quiet. Get good. Listen, I was getting my ass beat the whole time. You know what I said? Get good. That's what I did. That's why I was rookie. But enough about my incompetence in fighting games. This game looks really good. It looks great in motion. Even from the first trailer they showed when they revealed World Tour, I was like, this game's gonna look great. And it looks great. Like, animation stuff is nice. The art style, great. The character art, such an improvement over Street Fighter V. It's not even funny. Going back and looking at Street Fighter V in this game, it's like a whole other like world. Like, there's so much put into this game, and there's so many small details, and it's perfect. And the fact they brought back my favorite thing that every fighting game should have, the stupid, you start a match and you can do the little stupid face thing. Every fighting game should have that stupid goofy thing. So I'm happy it's there. And of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention this, the online, because I'm sure anyone who's watching this knows Street Fighter V had really bad online. A lot of matches were really laggy, and there wasn't a lot of fixes to them, and it was a little bit of an issue at times when it came to that game. It still really isn't fixed. I thought, okay, I'll play Street Fighter V again. I took like a few year break from it. I got back in my first few matches, terrible. And I'm like, God dang, it's still bad. This game, online was great. Throughout the whole weekend, I think I only had on hand like 3-4 matches that were like laggy, where it was almost like, ooh, this is a little bad, I'm about to dip out. But everything else has been smooth. And just the way they've approached it has been nice. Like, the fact there's a button you can hold down and the other person feels like, yeah, this connection ain't it. You can both opt out of the match and it'll just be a draw and just end there. That's beautiful. Because I always would hate in other fighting games where you get into a laggy match and it's like, oh boy, my options are either deal with this match that I'm probably going to lose because of extreme lag, quit out and risk getting suspended. So the fact that now if both players realize this ain't going good, this ain't happening, they can just dip, perfect. Like, that is the sickest thing. Every fighting game should have that. It should be mandatory at this point. Like, good for you, Street Fighter 6. Good for you. And last but not least, I almost forgot about it. The real-time commentary. I really liked that. A lot of people have kind of been half and half. Some people really like it, some people hate it. But I thought it was a really cool, like, little feature. Obviously, sometimes in matches, it's something that where I think when you're watching it back, it's cool. Because for me, when I'm in a match, I really zone that commentary all out. I'm really just focusing on, like, what's happening on screen. I kind of zone, like, their commentary. But, like, watching it back, it's really cool. And just how it'll actually, real time on the fly, adapt to, like, what's happening on screen. Like, oh, if I start a match off and I'm not really trying to go in and the opponent's also not trying to go in, just trying to feel who's going to go first, and the commentary is matching, saying, both players have tension, they don't know who's going to go first. It's really cool how it's done. It's done so well. So I don't know, I like it. It's not something I'd have on probably all the time, but for those few times, like, it's really cool. But yeah, overall, this beta was great. I had a lot of fun with it. This full game, when it does drop next year, I'm going all in on it. It's been a long time since I've been in a Street Fighter game, like day one, like hype. Like, probably not since Street Fighter 4 and Super Street Fighter 4. And this game, I really want to, like, take serious. I want to get into it. I want to dive into all the characters. I want to test stuff out. I'll say this right now. I know there's a lot of people who are really sad that they couldn't play the beta, and I understand that. But listen, it might be the best decision you didn't play it, because for the past, like, 9 hours since it ended, I have been having withdrawals, being like, ooh, I just want to get on and play a match, and just being like, dang it, it's off. I gotta wait now for, like, a few months until the game drops. So it's just like, yeah, in hindsight, it sucks that the beta wasn't available to everybody, but it might be for the best, because boy, it's really hitting me like, damn, I really want to play more of that game. The beta time wasn't enough for me. So yeah, great, fantastic. This game is in a really good shape right now. It's looking great. It's playing great. I had a lot of fun with this beta, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the game's gonna have, since we have, like, the story mode and everything else that's probably gonna come with it too. So yeah, this this was a lot of fun. I loved it, and I'm gonna be there day one to play this game. So that's gonna be it for me here. Thanks for listening along with my experience with the game. I hope to see you again next year when this game drops again. Maybe we'll play a match. Maybe you'll get smoked, or maybe I'll get smoked too. Knowing how it went through this weekend, it might be me getting smoked. So I don't know. But anyways, as always, I'm John, GWC, and I'll see you later. Peace.